Leading off and playing shortstop, number 6, Griff O'Farrell. Batting second and playing center field, number 2, Ethan O'Donnell. Batting third and playing third base, number 22, Jake Kellogg. Batting fourth and catching, number 3, Kyle Teal. Batting fifth and playing right field, number 8, J.C. Southey. Batting sixth and playing first base, number 23, Ethan Anderson. Batting seventh and designated hitter, number 7, Henry Goddard. Batting eighth and playing left field, number 34, Harrison Dilwick. And batting ninth and playing second base, number 12, Justin Rubin. On the mound today for your Cavaliers, number 20, Connolly Early. In his 20th season, the Cavaliers head coach is Brian O'Connor. He's assisted by Kevin McMullen, Drew Dickinson, and Matt Kirby. Fans of the ACC are committed to seeing each other as equals, recognizing that our differences don't divide us, but they make us stronger. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please join the Atlantic Coast Conference, our student athletes and coaches, in honoring America for the playing of our national anthem.
A brief stop in Charlottesville between ACC Road Series for the Virginia baseball team, as today from Davenport Field at Disharoon Park, it is the Who's renewing the rivalry with the George Washington Colonials. Hi again, folks. Channing Poole back with you on grounds. And again, for the one game within a 7-game stretch, the Who's are playing in front of the home faithful on this chilly Tuesday afternoon with some wind chill added just for fun. It might be a light Cavalier faithful taking in today's contest, but Virginia looks to keep it rolling as the Wahoos off to, again, a very impressive start to the season with a 14-1 record fresh off, taking 2 out of 3 from UNC this past weekend at Boshamer Stadium. The Who's have taken the field. Let's set the starting lineup for the visitors from GW, as under the direction of their 11th-year head coach, Greg Ritchie, George Washington enters with a record of 4-12. Playing out of the A-10, they have not yet begun A-10 play, and here is how Coach Ritchie puts things together for this afternoon. Leading off and playing center field is Sam Gates. It's Steve DiTomaso in the 2 spot. DiTomaso is the shortstop. Eddie Micheletti hits third and is in right field. With Anthony Frechette, the cleanup man, he is the designated hitter. Hitting 5th and playing second base is Noah Levine, with Logan Lex in left field and again bats 6th. Hitting 7th at first base, Michael Cohn, with Tim Nicholson doing the catching starting behind the plate, and he will hit 8th. Batting 9th to round out the order for George Washington is Ty Acker. Acker is the third baseman. Again, for George Washington, the top third goes Gates, DiTomaso, Micheletti. Middle third is Frechette, Levine, Lex. And the bottom third of Cohn, Nicholson, and Acker. And that lineup all against Virginia's Connolly Early, who makes what will be his 5th appearance of the season and his 4th start. 3-0 with a 2.16 ERA. And his first pitch is swung on and lined right back up the middle for a base hit. And we are underway with a leadoff single for GW's Sam Gates. So the Colonials are in business. It is a 4:02 first pitch this afternoon. And again, on a chilly day, we sit 43 degrees, sunny skies overhead, but some serious wind as well. The wind steadily at 15 miles an hour, but expecting gusts up to 25 miles an hour as the afternoon turns into evening. Pitch swung on, fouled back, and the count 0-1 to DiTomaso. Senior shortstop at .296 for the season. No homers and 4 runs batted in. And the flags right now relatively quiet to what they were during batting practice, when it was not just the flags whipping around, but the flag poles themselves being shaken by gusts of wind. Runner at first, just underway, nobody out in the top of the first. And if anybody is a threat to go in this George Washington lineup, it is Gates, the base runner at first, who has 3 stolen bases in his many attempts this season. Connolly Early again getting the ball for Virginia, and he's been very good of late for the Who's. 3 consecutive starts in which he has picked up the win for Virginia, as the next one misses outside, and the count even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. And Early, not only a 3-0 record, a 2.16 ERA, 16 2/3 innings. How about 21 strikeouts up against only 4 walks? Runner goes, pitch is swung on and fouled back on a fastball from Early, down around the knees, and will move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes to DiTomaso. 21 hits and 71 at-bats for the George Washington shortstop. And again, starting the runner on that 1-1 pitch, see if Gates will hold this time as Early moves the count in his favor. Left-hander stares down the base runner and now checks that direction. Maybe a flinch towards second from Gates, but he is back in safely. Not a George Washington team that is overly aggressive on the base paths, just 13 stolen base attempts, in contrast to, just for example, Virginia's 26. But again, their most aggressive runner happens to be the man aboard right now. And Gates there following a leadoff single to start the game. The 1-2. Swing and a foul ball back as DiTomaso making things tough on Early with 2 strikes against him. Virginia with the not only series win on the road in Chapel Hill, but also the midweek win over William & Mary last week, taking 3 out of 4 games they played last week, jumping up to number 14 in the D1 baseball poll, up from 17 last week. Early's 1-2 pitch, runner goes, check swing and a ball off the plate away, throw to second is in time for the out. Good adjustment by the second baseman, Rubin, on a hop that came up on him. And not only moving with that hop, but then quickly snapping the glove back down to tag out Gates, who was caught stealing for the first time this year. And maybe not the easiest pitch to throw on for Teal, but a nice job of releasing it very quickly. So leadoff runner erased, and now with one away, the count at 2-2 on DiTomaso. Little looper out towards center field, ranging back Rubin, and even he with his acrobatics from the weekend can't get to that one, as off the end of the bat it settles in for a base hit. So immediately DiTomaso replacing Gates over at first base. And a runner at first base now with one out for Eddie Micheletti. Alternating left-right all throughout the lineup for GW. Sort of a professional styling that is no surprise for Greg Ritchie, former hitting coach for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who is now in his 11th season as the head coach at GW. Pitch fouled away by Micheletti, and it's 0-1. Micheletti, junior right fielder. Remember him as a freshman coming in as a highly touted catcher, but the biggest thing is the bat, and he's in the lineup every day and batting out of the 3 spot now as a junior. And he swings and grounds it right back past the mound, fielded by O'Farrell. He will step on second, throw to first in time for the double play. Maybe better that Early couldn't get a piece of it, as O'Farrell able to turn it into 2. It goes 6-3 on the double play, and the inning is over. So a couple of hits, but nothing across for George Washington. And at the end of 1/2 inning of play, no score. Cavalier offense set to go to work when we come back. Again, Virginia and George Washington, no score after 1/2 inning of play. LA Cavalier offense still hitting at .351 as a team heading into this midweek matchup with George Washington. And here's how Brian O'Connor puts things together for this test against the Colonials. Leading off for Virginia, the shortstop Griff O'Farrell, with Ethan O'Donnell in the 2 spot playing center field. It's Jake Geloff hitting third at third base, with Kyle Teal, the catcher, batting cleanup. Casey Sauke in the 5 spot plays right field. Ethan Anderson at first base hits 6th. Batting 7th is the designated hitter Henry Godbout, with Harrison Didewick in the 8 spot in left field, and Justin Rubin once again at second base will bat 9th. Again, the top third for Virginia goes O'Farrell, O'Donnell, Geloff. Middle third is Teal, Sauke, Anderson, and the bottom third of Godbout, Didewick, and Rubin, all against Shuggy Klein. Sophomore lefty makes the start for GW, and it is his first career collegiate appearance. Sophomore who missed all of last year due to injury, and what a time to make his first ever appearance in a GW uniform. This is inside with a fastball, 1 ball, no strikes. No score in the bottom half of the first inning, as thanks to a ground ball double play, Connolly Early ends up facing the minimum 3 batters in the top of the first. Now the 1-0 pitch, O'Farrell takes a called strike. That'll even the count at 1-1. Klein, 6'4", 200-pound sophomore and left-hander out of Elkins Park, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. His 1-0 pitch, that's upstairs. And 2 balls and a strike now to O'Farrell, hitting at .333 on the season. 20 hits in 60 at-bats for the Virginia shortstop. Shadows from the overhang just about covering the entirety of the home plate circle now as they stop halfway between the pitcher's mound and home plate. O'Farrell swings at the 2-2 fastball, fouls it away to the right side. And we'll do it again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. No homers, 8 RBIs for Griff to this point in the season. And Klein working from the stretch even with the bases empty. Sophomore lefty deals, and a ball swung on, lifted out towards center field. Drifting back on it, now still going back and reaching up to make the catch is Sam Gates. That ball took off on him a little bit, and again, with the wind today, that might be the case for outfielders all over the place. Seemingly, it has been the storyline all season in home games this year. Wind playing tricks on balls when they are hit high enough, and you'd think by this point that might be an advantage for Virginia, having become accustomed to factoring in the wind in such an impactful way through so many home games this season. Speaking of outfielders, O'Donnell takes a fastball strike, and it's 0-1. Lefty against lefty here. And Klein again making his debut, but the GW coaches apparently see him as a potential weekend starter down the road once he gets stretched out. The 0-1. Swing and a ball fouled back, and it's 0-2 quickly to Ethan O'Donnell. O'Donnell had a big weekend in Chapel Hill, a couple of home runs, his 3rd and 4th of the season. No score, home half of the 1st. And with 1 out and the bases empty, Shuggy Klein draws to the high set and the pitch. Swinging a ball line, left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit and for extra bases. O'Donnell digging for 2 as the left fielder Lex digs it back out off the wall. And Ethan O'Donnell has himself a 1-out double. Last year's Big Ten doubles champ as his 4th double of 2023. So now Jake Geloff, runner at second with 1 out. And Virginia's RBI leader with a chance to add to his total, and it just got a little bit easier. Ball over the head of the catcher Nicholson all the way to the backstop. He just turns around and plays the deflection. A truly wild pitch. And O'Donnell over to third base with just the 1 out. So now deep fly ball would be as good as the game's first run. First baseman Cone moves in, standing basically where the dirt meets the grass. Infield back all the way around the rest of the way. Has a fastball up and in to Geloff. 2 balls, no strikes. And now a hitter's count to a very dangerous hitter in Jake Geloff. Geloff had a long solo home run over the weekend. Swings and grounds it up the middle. That's going to get the run home. The shortstop, DiTomaso, ranges, throws to first, and pulled the first baseman Cone's foot off the bag. So Geloff will get an RBI and also reach on the E6. And it's Virginia 1, George Washington nothing here in the home half of the first. RBI number 24 for Jake Geloff. And a good job thinking middle of the field there to get the man home. And the pitch. Swung on and he popped him up. Left side of the infield, a high fly ball. Third baseman can't find it initially, but the shortstop will call him off, DiTomaso. And he makes the catch. Teal is retired. Off the bat, Acker thought he was under it initially, and then he just put his hands out to either side. Obviously lost it at some point, but lucky for him, his neighbor and DiTomaso never lost sight of it and was able to track it for the second out. So 2 outs and a runner at first base. 1-0 Virginia in the home half of the first. And Shuggy Klein to the high set. Lefty's pitch just missed. 1 ball, no strikes. Real name is Cole Klein, but goes by Shuggy, spelled S-H-U-G-Y, to the extent that that's how they list him on the roster. Pitch misses upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. Out of Germantown Academy, again, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. And he has fallen behind Sauke. 2 balls, no strikes. Runner at first, 2 outs. The pitch. And there's a strike, 2-1. Linus Baker, our home plate umpire today. Tony Carilli is at first. Jeff Doy, the second base umpire. And Mike Mazza down the third base line to complete the crew. 2-1 pitch. Swinging a line, shot back up the middle for a base hit. Geloff around second. He will dig to third. Throw comes back in towards second base to hold Sauke at first. That was a screamer off the bat. And Virginia now with runners at the corners, 2 outs for Ethan Anderson. 100 miles an hour off the bat from Casey Sauke there. Safe to say he squared that up, and now it'll be Anderson, switch hitter, batting from the right side of the plate. Against the lefty Klein. One nothing Virginia already on the RBI ground ball from Jake Geloff. And the pitch to Anderson misses inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Anderson at .438 for the season. Even better than that over the last 10 games, hitting at an even .500. The 1-0 pitch. That's downstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. 10 hits in his last 20 at-bats. 2 homers, 17 runs driven in. And as the pitch missing down to make it 2-0, Klein is going to get a visit from his battery mate, Tim Nicholson. And, you know, if Klein can make 1 pitch to get out of this inning, actually wouldn't feel too bad about his debut in this opening frame. There is activity behind him, and again, in his collegiate debut coming back from injury, got to be on a tight leash in terms of pitch count. Pitch upstairs, 3 balls, no strikes. And he's approaching 20 pitches in the inning. And, you know, again, I don't know exactly how close of a watch they're going to keep on that number, but obviously any serious laboring and they would go into the bullpen. 3-0 pitch. There's a called strike, 3-1. But you understand the move, even though it's knowing it's going to be a very short start. In giving him the start, if, again, this is a guy that GW projects to be a member of their weekend rotation moving forward. Get him used to the routine on his starting day. Swinging a line drive center field. That's down for a base hit in front of Sam Gates. RBI single for Ethan Anderson to bring home another run as Geloff scores from third. 2-0 Hoos here in the first. Well, because of the E6 earlier in the inning that allowed Geloff to reach, now anything in the inning would be unearned for Klein. Nevertheless, that's consecutive hitters in Sauke and Anderson that have absolutely scalded the ball on balls he's left up in the zone. Fastball fouled away by Henry Godbout, 0-1. Godbout back into the starting lineup as the DH today. He did not play in the nightcap of Saturday's doubleheader. Third consecutive weekend with a doubleheader for Virginia. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, and the pitch to the backstop again takes a wild deflection over towards the on-deck circle next to Virginia's dugout, and so much so that Sauke over at third base actually rounded third and had thoughts of potentially testing it, but ultimately retreated to third. So now it's second and third with 2 outs, And a golden opportunity for Godbout to make this a big inning for Virginia. Already 2-0 Hoos. 2 runs on 3 hits for Virginia in the inning, but a chance for more. The 1-1. Swinging a ball lifted out towards center field. That's going to chase back Gates, and now he reaches up, and it's over his head. That ball carries onto the warning track. 1 hops off of the wall. Both runners coming to score. Sauke from third, Anderson from second, and indeed, it is a 4-0 Virginia lead. So Godbout does make it a big frame for the Hoos. And again, the break that Gates got off the bat, not used to this win just yet. As that ball kept forcing him back, and you could see he was picking up his pace as he was chasing it down, and I think off the bat, he thought it was going to be a routine play, but obviously not the case, as eventually it ended up out of his reach. First pitch to Didowick fouled away, and it's 0-1. Again, with gusts that'll consistently be in the 20-mile-an-hour to 25-mile-an-hour range, it is going to be difficult for outfielders, we expect, all throughout the afternoon and evening. Pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. And so far we've seen it on a ball that Gates caught in center field off the bat of O'Farrell, but sort of having to lunge for it at the very end on what looked like a routine play off the bat. Pitch outside, and it's 2 balls and a strike to Didowick. Lefty against lefty here. Runner at second base, 2 outs. And then there with the ball that carried so much it ended up out of the reach of Sam Gates. So Godbout at second with 2 outs. Already 4-0 Virginia, and the pitch fouled away to even up the count at 2-2. Just a pit stop at home in Charlottesville between trips to the Research Triangle area. Although compressing the schedule into the Saturday doubleheader actually helped things in terms of an extra day at home in Charlottesville. 2-2 pitch. Swing, and he bounces it foul off his front foot. And we'll do it again, 2-2. But travel day again tomorrow because of the shifted schedule due to television, with the series at NC State beginning on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday afternoon variety. And NC State, because of, we're not the only ones dealing with cold weather. They actually moved their start time up for their afternoon game today to 2 o'clock. As the pitch upstairs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And they're in the 7th inning, and 23rd ranked NC State trailing Elon 12-6. The Phoenix put up 10 runs in the first 2 innings and still lead by 6 as they play in the top of the 7th inning. Didowick, a wave and a miss at a fastball from Klein, a little bit tardy there. And he has his first strikeout of the ball game, but Virginia sends 8 men to the plate here in the first, and half of them come home to score. As we go to the second, 4-0 Virginia in front of George Washington. Nice cushion to work with now for left-hander Connolly early as he returns to the mound for Virginia. It's 4-0 Hoos. Cavaliers putting up 4 runs on 4 hits, also assisted by a GW error in the first. And now in the second, early to face Frechette, Levine, and Lex. Middle third of the lineup for the Colonials. Pitch misses outside, 1-0. And GW did put up a couple of hits in the first inning, but a caught stealing and a double play meant that not only did Early face the minimum, as the pitch misses just down, 2-0. Not only did he face the minimum 3 batters, he only threw 10 pitches in the first, and Early got stretched out to as many as 86 pitches last week against William & Mary. And a fastball inside, 3 balls, no strikes to Anthony Frechette, right-hand hitting designated hitter and a grad student at GW. See if Early can climb all the way back into the count now. His 3-0 pitch and a called strike, 3-1. You know, and ordinarily with just one midweek game, you might think Virginia would want to get a number of pitchers an inning, and that perhaps Early would be capped with that in mind as his 3-1 pitch over the inside edge called a strike, and it's 3-2. But maybe not today, because with the quick turnaround and playing again on Thursday to open up that series in Raleigh, pitch swung on, tapped foul, bouncing off the facing of the camera well and out into short left field. Count remains full, 3-2. I think really as long as Early is effective, Virginia will be content to ride that left arm today. 3-2 pitch. Again grounded foul. Out in front of a fastball there. We'll do it again, 3-2. On Anthony Frechette, 275 hitter for the season. 3 homers, but only 4 RBIs. And the payoff pitch. Popped him up. Shallow center. O'Donnell starting in, now slowing to a trot. Makes a one-handed catch. And there's one away as Frechette retired to open the inning.
Back for George Washington, second baseman number 15, Noah Levine.
Noah Levine, the batter now for GW, a guy that has had an impressive career for the Colonials and now a grad student. Lefty against lefty, and he takes it down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Left-hand hitter from Tarzana, California. And he was the Atlantic 10 Rookie of the Year back in 2019. And also a first-team All-Conference selection in 2021. Grounds this one up the middle and off the glove of the diving second baseman Rubin as Levine has himself a base hit. And a 1-out single. GW's 3rd hit of the ballgame. Had a down 2022, did Levine, hitting just .240. But so far, at least this season, that single, just the latest evidence, seems to be bouncing back in a strong way. Now Logan Lex, senior left fielder and right-handed batter for the Colonials. Swings and grounds it foul behind third base coach Chris O'Neill, who will go retrieve that baseball. Second-year assistant coach. There's been some turnover on the coaching staff for Greg Ritchie. Second-year pitching coach, second-year third base coach, and first-year volunteer assistant for Greg Ritchie in his 11th season on the staff. And a fastball strike. And it's 0-1. In fact, his pitching coach, Tyler Cavanaugh, replaced Rick Oliveri, who left to become the head coach at Lycoming College in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, a D3 school that just started its baseball program back up. The 0-2 lifted foul right side and out of play. So we'll do it again. No balls, 2 strikes to Logan Lex. Hitting at .429, but this is just his second start. Lex has 3 hits in 7 at-bats. Early a long hold, the 0-2. And he missed upstairs, not by much. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To Logan Lex, senior from the Woodlands, Texas. And early, set at the belt, the pitch. Right there, strike 3 called. Fastball at the knees. And Lex is retired for Connolly Early's first strikeout this afternoon. Now Michael Cohn, left-handed batter, and tall first baseman for GW. Grad transfer from Quinnipiac. And he takes a called strike, 0-1. Cohn at .328 for the year, 3 homers, 11 RBIs. Having a pretty good start to his grad transfer season for George Washington. The 0-1 now from Connolly Early, and he ropes it but foul outside of first base between where Ethan Anderson plays and first base coach Brian Liriano Hernandez, their new volunteer assistant this season. Defensively for Virginia, Kyle Teal, the catcher and battery mate for Connolly Early. Infield third to first of Jake Geloff at third. Griff O'Farrell, the shortstop. Justin Rubin at second and Ethan Anderson at first. Right now holding on the base runner, very short lead and of no consequence as Connolly Early gets a swing and miss at a breaking ball from Michael Cohn. And the inning is over. Back-to-back Ks from Early to in the second. And at the end of 1 1/2 innings of play, our score remains Virginia 4, George Washington 0. Not overly surprising to see the start for Shuggy Klein go just the 1 inning. His collegiate debut coming back from injury, and the George Washington starter an inning and 30 pitches. He allows 4 runs, only 1 of which was earned. Struck out a batter, did not walk a batter, and allowed 4 hits. And he makes way for freshman Max Haug, Jacksonville native. His first pitch is lined down the left field line, but foul. Justin Rubin does not even let the bat go. And now makes his way back to the batter's box. Right-hander off the third base side of the rubber, and a breaking ball missing high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Haug, 6'4", 200-pound freshman out of the Bowles School in Jacksonville. He's got a good arm, fastball that'll touch 90, and his fastball here is lifted out towards right field. Drifting back on it, the right fielder Micheletti makes the catch, and Rubin is retired. 1 away.
Batting for your Cavaliers, number 6, O'Farrell.
Well, now O'Farrell for Virginia already for the second time today. As again, Virginia sent 8 men to the plate in the first. 4 of them came home to score. And O'Farrell, who flied to center field his first time up, takes a breaking ball high, 1-0. Haug already making his 5th appearance of the season. 1 of his prior 4 was a start. Fastball bounced but foul. Nice pick over in the Virginia dugout by one of the players hanging over the railing. Count even up at a ball and a strike to Griff O'Farrell. 9 innings, 7 strikeouts, 4 walks for Haug. And as a fastball lifted down the right field line, racing over the right fielder, that ball is foul. It had home run distance, but sliced out of play. And a ball and a strike, 2 strikes, now to O'Farrell. Over those 9 innings, Haug has allowed 12 hits. Opponents are hitting .316 against him. But as far as the staff goes, one of the more heavily used arms. 1-2 pitch, spinner foul at the plate. Do it again, 1-2. O'Farrell flied to center field his first time up. And Haug, I mean, he works off of the extreme third base side of the rubber. You don't always see that from a right-handed pitcher. And missed away with a fastball there. And a foul tip caught by the catcher Nicholson. As he went off speed, and O'Farrell a little bit early on it. First strikeout for Max Haug. So 2 outs, bases empty for O'Donnell, who swings and skies one to deep right center field. That chases back the right fielder, Micheletti. He turns and watches that ball hit off the scoreboard. Ethan O'Donnell stays red hot. He's got a solo home run. His 5th long ball of the season as he drives it off the right center field scoreboard and makes it a 5-0 Wahoo lead. O'Donnell again, 2 home runs over the weekend. So now 3 in a span of 4 games. And RBI number 12 this season. Now Geloff fouls it back and the count 0-1. Slider from Haug missing down and away to even up the count at a ball and a strike. And an elevated fastball swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jake Geloff. He reached on an error his first time up, but did pick up an RBI in the process on a ground ball to the shortstop. Now the 1-2. Way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball skipped in to the glove of Nicholson. Actually a nice pick on the backhand. "5-0 Hoos, last of the 2nd inning. Virginia pouncing on George Washington. Fastball down and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Count is now full on Geloff. Haug now back to work. Swinging the ball lifted out towards right center field. Long run for Micheletti. He's not going to get there. That ball rolls onto the warning track. Geloff sheds the helmet. He's around second, but puts on the brakes and is content with a 2-out double. Jake Geloff's 6th double of the year, and he keeps the inning alive for Virginia. And now gives Kyle Teal an RBI opportunity. Virginia now peppering that right center field gap. And now Teal, who popped out of the shortstop his first time up. And Haug deals a called strike at the knees over the inside corner, 0-1. Teal again entering play today at 5'18". What a remarkable run it has been at the plate for Kyle Teal. Takes a changeup wide, 1 ball and 1 strike. Second highest batting average in Division I baseball for Teal entering play today. 1-1 pitch. Swing and off the end of the bat. Lifts it foul up towards the berm. Handful of fans down there. One of them actually made a nice play off 1 hop. Faked as if he was going to throw it back. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Teal. Righty on the mound against the lefty at the plate with a runner at second and 2 outs. The pitch. Swing, and he popped it up. Left center field this time. Lex and Gates converge. It's Lex reaching back to make the catch, and that will retire the side. Again, no fly ball is routine this afternoon, and at the end of 2 complete innings of play in Charlottesville, it's now Virginia 5, George Washington 0.
The 2023 UK baseball season is presented by Cavaliers Automotive Group. Don't drop the ball at order today. Visit Battlefield Automotive today.
Virginia left-hander Connolly early back out for the third. He'll face the 8-9-1 hitters in the GW lineup. 5-0 Hoos in this midweek matchup. And Early, who has been continuing to get built up in the early portion of the season. 6 innings last week, 5 innings the week prior, and 4 the week prior to that. Deals to Tim Nicholson, who bounces it foul outside of third base, 0-1. Right-hand hitter at the plate, Nicholson, making his 3rd start of the season. 2 hits in 10 at-bats so far this year for the sophomore catcher. Not to suggest that Early is definitely going to go 7 innings today, but at least trending in the right direction, obviously. Change-up for strike 2 called over the outside corner, 0-2. And equally important, remaining effective as his pitch count gets built up, the 0-2. Right there, strike 3 called. 3 consecutive strikeouts now for Connolly early as Nicholson is frozen on 3 pitches. Early makes quick work of the leadoff man here in the third. Now Ty Acker for the Colonials. Needed just 44 pitches to get through 4 innings in his first start, the 26-2 win over Longwood. Pitch tapped foul by Acker, 0-1. 5 shutout innings in the 3-0 win over VMI the following week, and just 75 pitches to get through the 5 innings. And then 86 pitches to get through 6 innings last week. He has worked efficiently for Virginia. Ground ball up the middle. O'Farrell, nice pick, spins, throws to first. Low throw dug out by Anderson. Great play on both ends from the Virginia infield. Couple stars by that 6-3 in the scorebook. And it has been great to see. I mean, obviously O'Farrell this season feels like he gets to everything. And some of the balls, when you're about ready to say a base hit, somehow he reaches out and snags it. But even more amazing has been his ability to throw from just about anywhere. But the other end of that, not to be overlooked, is Ethan Anderson and how far he has clearly come. Recruited as a catcher, but developing into a heck of a first baseman for Virginia. And the number of times we have seen in between hops like that and his ability to pick it and save outs for Virginia. Swinging a line drive base hit for Sam Gates. He's 2 for 2 with 2 line drives up the middle. Left-hand hitter seeing it well from the lefty early. And a 2-out base hit. Ethan Anderson holding court over at first base. Always friendly to chat, and it looked like he and Gates sharing a laugh. You know, I have to imagine that just about every player that reaches it first, they are having a conversation about the temperatures today. Steve DiTomaso swings, fouls it back, and it's 0-1. DiTomaso singled his first time up. A little blooper out towards center field that landed in. He has 1 of 4 George Washington hits today. And the 0-1 from Connolly early. A couple of looks at first and misses outside. Back to early and what he has done in his consistency as Virginia's midweek starter. A chance today to make it 4 consecutive wins in 4 starts. And that would match the longest streak of his career. He did it last year at Army. Swinging a ball blooped out towards second on 1 hop, handled by Rubin. He will sidearm over to first, and the inning is over. 4-3 on the putout. And another relatively easy inning for Connolly early, picking up his 3rd strikeout in the process. Beat goes on for the left-handed midweek starter for the Hoos. And now we go back to the Cavalier offense. Home half of the 3rd straight ahead after 2.5. Virginia 5, George Washington 0.
Turn your attention to television to see today's Twitter trivia question. Today's question: how many times has UVA scored 5 or more runs in a single inning this season? Again, that question: how many times has UVA scored 5 or more runs in a single inning this season? Tweet your answer at UVA Baseball, and we will pick a random entry to win a Virginia Athletics prize pack. Announced in the middle of the 4th inning.
Casey Salke, Ethan Anderson, and Henry Godbout. 5-6-7 for Virginia in the home half of the 3rd. And a first pitch breaking ball from Max Haug. Pops in for strike 1. Freshman right-hander from Jacksonville back out for his second inning of work. Gave up a solo homer to Ethan O'Donnell last inning. Misses low here, and the count even up at a ball and a strike. Nobody throwing behind him, and again, a guy that has worked multiple innings already on multiple occasions this season for GW. Breaking ball outside, 2 balls and a strike to Sauke. Casey singled and scored his first time up as part of Virginia's 4-run first inning. It's now 5-0 Hoos, home half of the third. And next one a little bit low. 3 balls and a strike. Couple of close misses in this at-bat from the right-hander Haug. After the starter Shuggy Klein lasted just an inning. And the pitch inside, ball 4. So Sauke is aboard to start the inning for Virginia. And now Ethan Anderson for Virginia. It was a question going into the weekend at 14th ranked North Carolina. How would the bats respond to what was expected to be the step up in quality of pitching as Anderson fouls it back? And safe to say that the Hoos responded. Offense, 7 runs Friday night, 8 runs Saturday in game 1, and the couple of Virginia wins. And I think it was also impressive to see the pitching staff, particularly the bullpen, step up in such a big way. And it was obviously a step up in competition in terms of opposing batting order as well. But 13 hits, in game 1 and 15 hits in game 2 as a changeup swung on, foul tipped, and it's 0-2. Virginia's offense staying hot. Now, it was only a matter of time before that first loss. It was going to happen somehow, some way, and still taking 2 out of 3 from the 14th ranked team in America on the road. Successful weekend, to say the least. Pitch misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Anderson. Switch hitter batting left now against Haug. After his first at-bat, right-handed against the lefty Klein. Runner at first base, nobody out. 5-0 Virginia, home half of the third. But again, Virginia not only piling up 14 wins in a row to start the season, but taking 2 out of 3 in ACC weekend number 1. Bouncing ball over to third, fielded by the third baseman, and a nice turn to get the out at second, but Levine's throw to first bounced and actually went over the head of the first baseman, taking an odd bounce off the dirt. So they get the lead man. Sauke erased at second. Anderson is aboard on the fielder's choice. And now Henry Godbout for Virginia. After it bounced over Michael Cohn's head, it deflected back off the sidewall and right back to him. So Anderson, no chance to think about advancing to second. They check on him, and the throw actually hits Anderson, bounces away from the first baseman. He thought about going, but a late recognition that the ball was potentially far enough away to move up, and ultimately decided against it after seeing Cohn was about to retrieve the baseball. So still runner at first with 1 out. And a 5-0 Virginia lead here in the third. Godbout an RBI double his first time up, lifting a ball over the center fielder's head. It scored both Sauke and Anderson. Lines this one through the left side of the infield, a base hit. Henry Godbout is 2 for 2. Anderson stops at second. And Virginia has runners at first and second with 1 out. Now for Harrison Didewick. Talk about the competition ratcheting up last weekend in the first conference series. Well, no favors in terms of scheduling for Virginia to open up ACC play with consecutive road series against top 25 teams. Pitch to Didewick, swung on and skied left side. Will it be playable for Acker? He's now racing back towards fair territory, and he could not make the play. Overran it, you could say, but again, that wind that's been consistently blowing out towards right center field carried it back, not into fair territory, but close to it. Coach Mack shuffled out of the way as he was trying to give Acker all the room he needed to operate, but still could not track it down. Now the 0-1 to Didowick, misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. The other way to look at it is that Virginia tested early and a chance to really prove themselves as one of the nation's elite teams, and so far so good in that respect by winning the series at North Carolina. And now, beginning on Thursday, another chance against 23rd ranked NC State. Didowick takes it down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. He bats with Anderson at second and his classmate Henry Godbout at first. And again, NC State in action today, and in the 9th inning now at Doak Field. It's Elon 12, NC State 6. The Phoenix putting up 10 runs in the first couple of innings and have not looked back. Pitch down and in, 3 balls and 1 strike. So, assuming that score holds, Virginia is going to face an NC State team that, much like Virginia did, came out of the box red hot. As the 3-1 pitch now to Didowick is lined but foul. But an NC State team that lost its first couple of games of the season at Miami to open up ACC play. And again, if this score holds, it'll be, as now they've got Anderson caught between second and third, but the throw from Haug was a poor one. It bounced. He basically spiked it into the grass right behind the pitcher's mound. And credit to DiTomaso, the shortstop, for even making a clean play on it, giving himself a chance to tag out Anderson, who was trying to get a running start towards third, but stopped halfway and scampered back to second. Now the payoff pitch, runners hold, and he missed outside. Ball 4. So bases loaded up with Who's, and still just 1 out now for Justin Rubin. And there is some activity, a left-hander throwing in the GW pen, but looks like the early stages of getting loose for Teddy Brennan. And Tyler Cavanaugh is out to talk with his right-hander Haug. Second-year pitching coach Tyler Cavanaugh, who was a 4-year starting catcher at Kenyon College back in his playing days in the early 2000s for the Owls at the D3 ranks. Trying to settle Haug back into this inning. Virginia has the bases loaded with just 1 out, and Rubin a golden opportunity to tack on for Virginia. And again, on the ACC scoreboard, that NC State game stands out with Elon in front 12-6 in the 9th, but other activity ongoing as well. Notre Dame leads St. Joe's 5-3 in the 7th. College of Charleston in front of Clemson 1-0 in the 3rd. That game in Clemson. First pitch to Rubin, down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Another interesting one to keep an eye on. Liberty playing host to Wake Forest today, the 4th-ranked Demon Deacons, as Rubin skies one foul left side and out of play. Now the 1-1 pitch is outside, 2 balls and a strike. And actually, had not seen that Liberty and Wake decided to move their game to tomorrow because of the weather just down the road in Lynchburg. 2-1 pitch now to Rubin. And a called strike at the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Virginia with Anderson at third, Godbout at second, Didowick at first. And one out here in the third. Already 5-0 Virginia. 4 runs on 4 hits, plus a GW error in the first and a solo homer from Ethan O'Donnell in the second. 2-2, grounded foul outside of third base. And we'll do it again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rubin, 6 hits in 33 at-bats, does have 5 RBIs, but a chance to add to it here. And hanging tough against the freshman Haug. Again, the 2-2. Lifted out towards right field. Should be playable for the right fielder. Caught by Micheletti. Tagging from third. Racing home is Anderson. He's going to score standing up as the throw is cut off. And Virginia tacks on another one. 6-0 Hoos on the sacrifice fly from Justin Rubin. He's got RBI number 6 on the season. Godbout also tags and goes second and third in the play. So for Virginia, runners at the corners now with 2 outs. For the top of the order, Endo Farrell, who's looking for his first hit of the day. And a swing and a line drive left center field. That ball is going to get down and drive home another run. In from third is Godbout. And over to third base goes Didewick. O'Farrell not waiting around. First pitch swinging. He's got a base hit and his 9th RBI of the season. Well, now O'Donnell, who took Haug deep last time, home run off the scoreboard. 2 outs and runners at the corners. Swings and bounces it foul, pulling it into the GW dugout. And O'Donnell actually 2 for 2. A couple of extra base hits. He doubled and scored in the first, followed by that home run. Takes the next one wide. 1 ball and 1 strike. Virginia 7, George Washington nothing. Home half of the third. Cavaliers have scored in each of their 3 offensive opportunities. And the 1-1. Breaking ball fouled back. And it's now a ball and 2 strikes on O'Donnell. There is actually some activity now in the Virginia bullpen. Early activity with Evan Blanco getting loose. 1-2, misses outside with a fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A look to third, now the pitch. Runner goes from first, and he missed down and in to run the count full to 3-2. Stolen base for O'Farrell, his 6th of the year in as many tries. So now base hit from O'Donnell would score a couple of more runs. And the 3-2 pitch. Line drive, base hit into right center field. Up with it is the right fielder Micheletti. O'Farrell around third, and he's going to come in to score right behind the lead runner Didewick. 9-0 Virginia. As Ethan O'Donnell is having himself a day, he's now a triple shy of the cycle. 2 more RBIs give him 14 for the season. And again, the Hoos have broken this thing wide open nice and early. Now Jake Geloff gets no easier for the right-hander Haug. Geloff, the 8th man to bat in the inning, and takes a breaking ball down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, there had been a lefty throwing earlier this inning in the GW bullpen, and you almost wonder if Kyle Teal, left-hand hitter waiting on deck, would have been the guy for him to face, although he has since sat back down. 1-0 pitch misses wide, 2-0. Worth noting as well for GW and how they might play it. Mentioned the short turnaround for Virginia in getting back into conference play on Thursday. As the pitch outside, 3 balls, no strikes now to Jake Geloff. But GW in action again tomorrow. They will head back home and host Maine tomorrow afternoon. 3-0 pitch, and down and in ball 4. So they have to account for that heavy innings total. And, well, he had not been throwing, but Greg Ritchie's going to make the move anyway. The GW head coach has seen enough from Haug, who cannot get out of this 3rd inning. And with the score now 9-0 Virginia, Colonials will bring on the left-hander to face Kyle Teal. Tell you who it is and more about him in a moment. Again, Virginia 9, George Washington 0. Last of the 3rd in Charlottesville. George Washington brings on left-hander Teddy Brennan for the 8th time this season. A sophomore left-hander and transfer from JMU. Brennan out of Glen Cove, New York. And he comes on to face Kyle Teal. Teal, the 9th man to bat in the inning for Virginia. First pitch breaking ball in there for strike 1. Virginia 9, George Washington 0. For the 2nd time today, Cavaliers have scored 4 times in an inning. They put up 4 in the first, and after 1 in the second, 4 more so far here in the 3rd. Virginia has O'Donnell at second and Geloff at first. With 2 outs, Teal spins one over towards third, fielded by Acker, who steps on the bag ahead of the oncoming O'Donnell. Or fielder's choice there, and the inning is over as it goes 5 unassisted. But Virginia sends all 9 guys to the plate in the 3rd. Tack on 4 more, and as we go to the 4th, it's Virginia 9, George Washington 0.
Season tickets are on sale now for the 2023 Virginia football season. Catch the excitement of game days at Scott Stadium and take advantage of the friendly atmosphere this season with tickets starting as low as $129 and a new 6-month plan. To find a plan that fits you, visit UVATix.com. Go
A very early move to the bullpen today for Virginia. Cavaliers will turn to first-year Evan Blanco out of the bullpen. And the Woburn, Massachusetts native is on for what will be the 5th time this season. We saw Blanco over the weekend against Carolina. And right back to action again today. So Blanco takes over as we go to the 4th. 9-0 Virginia in front of George Washington. They'll face the heart of the order, Micheletti, Frechette, and Levine. And a called strike, 0-1. So Connolly early, 3 innings of shutout baseball today. He allows 4 hits, but no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Check swing and a breaking ball that bounced in. And the count even up at 1-1, not even enough for an appeal. On the half swing from Micheletti, who grounded into a double play his first time up. Lefty against lefty. 2 of the 3 batters scheduled in the inning are left-handed hitters, the 1-1. Foul tip, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Deflects off the mask of Teal. Blanco out of Austin Prep in Massachusetts. And again, for Virginia, 4 prior appearances, no record, a 2.25 earned run average. 4 innings, 5 strikeouts, just 1 walk. Narrowly missed his 6th strikeout there, a fastball just off the outside corner. Blanco's 6 foot tall, 200-pound lefty, wears number 15 for the Who's. And the count even on Micheletti, 2-2. Next pitch. Swinging a little bouncer foul towards his own dugout. Do it again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So early 3 shutout innings and also 3 very efficient innings. Just 38 pitches. Now the pitch. Down and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Micheletti has worked it full to 3 balls, 2 strikes as Blanco kicks, deals, and he missed outside and lost him. So ball 4, leadoff walk to Micheletti. As now Anthony Frechette, the batter. Could be any number of things in getting early out of the game after 3 quick and effective innings for Virginia. Think about the possibility of wanting him available for this weekend series, given how good he has been. There's a called strike, and it's 0-1. It could also be as simple as the fact that he has had a couple of long layoffs between innings, and it's 40 degrees outside with gusts of wind now up to 31 miles an hour, that perhaps on a day like this, no reason to really push it with Virginia again in front 9-0. And he's gotten some work, and you get him out of there on a high note, again, without having to battle the elements any further. No balls, 2 strikes, the count to Anthony Frechette, runner at first. And the pitch from Blanco inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. First year lefty again from the belt. 1-2, a little tapper left side. Tough play for Geloff. He'll have only 1 play at first. Makes it look easy. As Frechette retired 5-3. Micheletti up to second on the ground out.
Back for George Washington, second baseman number 15, Noah Levine.
And now Noah Levine. Shadows now covering the majority of the pitcher's mound from which Blanco works. Levine crouching stance from the left side against the lefty in Blanco. And a fastball up and in, 1 ball, no strikes. Blanco appearing in Game 2 against North Carolina, so working in consecutive games for Virginia, although not on consecutive days, but just 1 day, or 2 days, I should say, in between because of the compressed schedule. Pitch outside to Levine. 2 balls, no strikes. Worked an inning, allowed a run on 1 hit, as he gave up the solo home run in the game against Carolina Saturday night. Fastball for a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Levine singled his first time up. Again, a proven hitter in this George Washington lineup, Noah Levine. Batting out of the 5 spot, the 2-1 pitch. Fouled back, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Micheletti at second with 1 out. Virginia 9, George Washington nothing. Top of the 4th. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error for GW. 9 runs, 9 hits, no errors for Virginia. Another well-rounded performance thus far from Virginia. The 2-2. Swinging a ground ball up the middle. Ranging is Rubin, dodging the second base umpire as he gets to it. And throws on to first for out number 2. Over to third base goes Micheletti. But there are now 2 outs. And Logan Lex, the batter for GW. It has gone final from Raleigh. Elon tacked on 2 more for good measure in the 9th. The Phoenix 14, the Wolfpack 6. And NC State will go into the series with Virginia, having lost 3 of their last 4 games. Pitch swung on, grounded towards short. O'Farrell waiting back for the easy hop, fires to first, inning over. So after the leadoff walk, Blanco induces 3 consecutive ground outs, and the side is retired. After 3.5 innings of play from Disharoon Park, it's Virginia 9, George Washington nothing.
Congratulations, Kyle. You are today's Twitter Trivia winner. Leading off for your Cavaliers, right fielder number 8, Casey Salkey.
Virginia 9, George Washington nothing. And as we go to the 4th, Casey Salkey will lead off just as he did last inning for Virginia. Cavaliers have had a couple of big innings as Salkey skies one to center and over towards the gap to make the catch. With the wind carrying it into the right center field gap, Sam Gates. And on 1 pitch, Salkey is retired for out number 1. Home half of the 4th, Cavaliers 9 runs on 9 hits to lead GW, looking to keep the lengthy win streak alive against the Colonials. This the 41st all-time meetings between the 2 schools in a series that goes back to 1905. Pitch swung on and missed, 0-1. Virginia has won 28 of the prior 40 matchups, including a 17-1 record since Brian O'Connor took over in 2004. The 0-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball right side, ranging and diving is the second baseman. Quickly back to his feet. Nice play by Levine, who retires Anderson 4-3. Not only the range to get to it, but quickly back to his feet and still made a strong and accurate throw to first. Virginia has won 13 straight against George Washington, going back to 2008, the last time GW beat the Hoos. Now Henry Godbout, 2 outs, bases empty, and he takes off-speed down, 1 ball, no strikes. Godbout is 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored in this game. Right-hand hitting first year out of the Baylor School in Tennessee. And the 1-0 pitch. Fastball down and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Brennan, who got the final out of the third, working here in the fourth. JMU transfer, sophomore lefty, did not appear in a game last year for the Dukes. And misses down and away. 3 balls, no strikes. Out of St. Dominic High School in New York, then played a year of post-grad baseball at the Salisbury School in Connecticut before starting his collegiate career last year. And he missed low with a fastball, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk. We'll put Godbout aboard and get Didewick to the plate.
Back for your Cavaliers, left fielder number 34, Harrison Didewick.
Cavaliers, the white home uniforms today. Blue cap with the orange bill. George Washington, gold uniform tops with blue sleeves and blue pants. Breaking ball down and away. Godbout, big secondary lead, but scampers back to first. 1 ball, no strikes to Harrison Didewick. Blue cap with the gold brim for George Washington. Uniforms that sort of feel like some of the combinations that Georgia Tech wears from time to time, not just in color scheme, but also as the 1-0 pitch now. Didewick takes it down. 2 balls, no strikes. Sometimes those oddly colored pants, I mean, traditional baseball pants, either white for a home team, gray for a road team, but you mix in some of the navy blue pants and it can look like an opponent wearing sweatpants on the field. 2-0 pitch to Didewick. Takes a breaking ball inside. 3 balls, no strikes. You get Louisville sometimes coming in wearing the all-black tops and pants. Looks like they're wearing a full tracksuit. Again, Virginia, the all-white home uniforms today. Fastball strike over the inside corner. 3-1 to Didewick. Back to a favorable count again for him. He has struck out and walked in the game today. And the pitch. Breaking ball drops in for a strike. Good pitch starting at his front shoulder, catching the outside edge, and the count is full. And with 2 outs, Godbout will be off from first. And the pitch. Swing and a bouncer foul. And again, Godbout, who had been running, will head back to first. You know, and obviously the issue with the uniforms is that George Washington an Adidas partner instead of our fabulous partners at Nike. Pitch is grounded foul along the first base line, and Godbout getting some nice exercise between first and second, as he will, for the 3rd time now, be off with the pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. 9-0 Virginia in the 4th. Swing and a foul tip caught by Nicholson. That'll do it for Virginia in the 4th. 2-out walk, but nothing further. And as we head to the 5th, still Virginia 9, George Washington nothing. Cavaliers chopping it up out of the bullpen as we move along. Now top of the fifth in Charlottesville. 9-0 Who's in front. And the new pitcher for Virginia as we go top of five is the first-year Cullen McKay. And Norfolk native is on to face the bottom third of the lineup for GW. Michael Cohn, Tim Nicholson, and Ty Acker, the scheduled hitters. 93-mile-an-hour fastball inside from McKay, who is making his third appearance of the year for Virginia. 1 ball, no strikes to Cohn. Left-handed hitter against the righty on the mound. And McKay now back into the windup. And a swing and a miss. Fastball tailing off the outside edge, but looked like Cohn helped him out a bit. And it's 1-1. Virginia held scoreless last half inning for the first time this game. 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 4 more in the third. 1-1 skipped in. 2 balls and 1 strike. The power arm of Cullen McKay looking to rein in that plus stuff that he's got. That one flashed a 95 on the in-park radar gun, but also prompted a visit from Kyle Teal as it bounced in out in front of the plate. So Teal chatting with McKay, and now back behind home plate. McKay peers in over the top of his glove, now over the head with the windup and the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, says third base ump Mike Mazza, as Cohn could not hold off. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. McKay again, a couple of scoreless innings so far this season for Virginia. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out at 95, down and in. And Cohn is out on strikes. 1 away in the fifth.
Back for George Washington, the catcher, number 28, Tim Nicholson.
So early Blanco and now McKay. The batter is Tim Nicholson. 1 out, base is empty. And McKay kicks, steals. Fastball lifted right side and out of play. No balls, 1 strike. McKay saw action in the midweek game against Longwood and then the Rhode Island series, but has not pitched since March 4th. A couple of strikeouts each time he has taken the mound, and so far so good in that respect as well. 1 out, base is empty, and McKay winds and deals a slider a little bit high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nicholson called out on strikes in his only at-bat. That came against Cavaliers starter Connolly Early, who went 3 scoreless. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Tardy on a fastball. A lot of moving and even some hopping around between pitches from the Virginia defenders, with the wind whipping around and chilly temps as it is. Fastball missing, down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Flags beyond the right center field wall, really whipping around as they have been consistently throughout the game. And the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball weakly right side. Anderson fields, flips to McKay, covering, and that is out number 2. It goes 3-1 in the putout, and it's 2 up, 2 down. And actually, the wind blowing so strong that the sections of the outfield wall and right center that can be opened so that that turtle shell for batting practice can be taken through the wall after BP is over. The wind is so strong it has blown those sections open so that there is a gap in the right center field wall. Two outs and the base is empty. Ty Acker the batter. And a changeup misses down 1-0. I mean, it's no coincidence that as the wind blowing the flags so severely that the poles themselves were shaking, that's also when those sections of the wall popped open. 1-0 pitch. That's upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. 93-mile-an-hour fastball from McKay, but missing up and out of the zone. Easy to get excited about this kid and his stuff with a fastball that sits 93 to 95 and that good hard slider as well. 2 balls, no strikes to Acker. The pitch up and away. 3 balls, no strikes. And, you know, when he can get that stuff sort of settled in and the command figured out just a little bit better, this is obvious back into the bullpen stuff. I mean, he could, the second that happens, he could become your closer. 3-0 pitch to Acker. And he walked him. Well, that's sort of evidence of the issue. I mean, the strikeout of Cone, it was obvious that the George Washington hitter was simply overmatched. And a lot of batters McKay has faced this season have looked that way. But then later in the same inning, 4 pitches to Acker, none of them overly close, and he puts the man aboard. So see if he can bounce back now with Sam Gates coming to the plate. And he missed upstairs with a fastball, 1-0. Virginia 9, George Washington nothing. 4 runs in the first and third innings for Virginia, sandwiched around a run that came on a solo homer from Ethan O'Donnell in the second. The 1-0 pitch. At the knees, called a strike, 1-1. More activity now in the George Washington bullpen as Colin Ruddy has started throwing, a right-hander down in the right field corner. McKay already the third pitcher used by Virginia today. And his 1-1 pitch. Down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Sam Gates. Sophomore center fielder out of Island Heights, New Jersey. Missed all of last year due to injury, but has taken over as not only the everyday center fielder, but leadoff man for George Washington this season. 2-1 pitch is a little bit high, 3-1. Did get some collegiate experience playing in the Atlantic Baseball Confederation, New Jersey Summer Ball League before he started his collegiate career back in 2021. Played in 9 games for the Langen Falcons. 2 outs, runner at first, the 3-1. Down and in, ball 4. So consecutive walks now to Acker and Gates. And that'll prompt the second visit of the inning from Kyle Teal. And looks like activity will resume in the Virginia bullpen. Right-hander Chase Hungate had been throwing. And he is back up and slinging it in there again from that sidearm slot. Steve DiTomaso, the batter, he is 1 for 2. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. And McKay's pitch, swing and a miss, helped him out with a fastball at 94, up around the shoulders. And it's 0-1. DiTomaso, who started all 51 games last year for George Washington and led the team hitting at .329. Now senior shortstop, the 0-1 pitch from McKay. Slider for strike 2, good pitch. And it's 0-2. The only other guy that started every game for George Washington last year was Cade Fergus, who was drafted by the Phillies in the 13th round. So pretty good company for DiTomaso to be keeping. The 0-2 pitch now from Colin McKay. Swinging a ground ball back past the mound and through the infield for a base hit. Around third and heading home is Acker. He's going to score, and GW is on the board. So those 2 out walks come back to bite, as DiTomaso has his second hit of the day and an RBI single to get the Colonials on the board. Gates now at second. That is the 5th RBI this season for Steve DiTomaso. Well, now left-hand hitting Eddie Micheletti. Hungate, the sidewinding righty, with a right-hand hitter and Frechette on deck. This might be the last batter for McKay either way. The pitch. Up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Micheletti Jr. from Wilmington, Delaware, out of Wilmington Friends School. Suffered a season-ending injury after 15 games last year, but they are happy to have him back, hitting just shy of 400 entering play today. And their 3-hole hitter, 0 for 1 with a ground out and a walk. Lifts it foul left side and out of play. Micheletti was actually the 2nd highest rated recruit in the state of Delaware coming out of high school. And as this was 2020, he was behind only Virginia's Jake Geloff. One pitch now from McKay. Bounced it in. 2 balls, 1 strike. And again, he has backed it up. I mean, he's had a very productive career so far through his first couple of seasons. And seems to be putting it all together now this year in his junior campaign. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. And McKay deals. Swinging the ball lifted foul left side again and out of play. A little bit late on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 2-2. Now GW making McKay work. This is going to be pitch number 27 of the inning. 2 walks and a single allowed in this frame. And now the pitch from McKay. Swinging the ball lifted again left side. This one towards the berm, which is now unoccupied, and bounces up onto the concourse. We'll do it again, 2-2. I think the folks that had been on the berm made their way onto the concourse to get some hot chocolate. See if McKay can get Micheletti in what has turned into a lengthy battle here. And the righty deals. Up and away, 3 balls, 2 strikes. So runners will be off with the pitch. Gates from second, DiTomaso from first. And see if McKay can get his man. Right-hander looks back to second. Now the payoff, and he lost him. Fastball up and out of the zone, ball 4. So over to third base goes Gates. Up to second, DiTomaso. And with Frechette coming to the plate, we'll see if Virginia allows McKay to battle out of this jam. Yeah, for the moment, looks like they will. As in steps Frechette. And McKay now to the set at the belt. Righty deals. And a slider drops in for strike 1. Frechette bailing out of the way, and that ball dropped in over the inside corner. So again, McKay, I mean, there are times when there's another slider. Beautiful pitch for strike 2 over the outside edge this time. I mean, there's at bats and sequences where he throws consecutive pitches like that, and you think this guy's ready to come in 1-run games in the 9th immediately. See if he can put him away. No balls, 2 strikes. And McKay kicks, deals, slider swung on, drilled to left field, well tagged. Didowick is back. Didowick's at the wall. That ball one hops off of the wall. Home from third is Gates. DiTomaso right behind him and racing towards the plate. Micheletti will score from first. It is a bases clearing double for Anthony Frechette. And GW has made it a 9-4 ball game with 4 runs home in this 5th inning. And now Noah Levine, after Frechette's 5th double of the year. And that's going to do it for Cullen McKay. So Virginia will go to the bullpen as McKay, really his first bump in the road. And Virginia is going to bring on Chase Hungate. We will tell you more about him when we return. All of a sudden, different feel of this ball game. Here in the top of the 5th, Virginia 9, George Washington 4. So Chase Hungate takes over for Virginia in the 5th in a game that has changed a little bit over the course of this half inning. 4 runs home for the Colonials. It is a 9-4 ball game now, and Hungate hits the outside edge with an off-speed pitch. 0-1 to Noah Levine. A bases clearing double for Anthony Frechette has made things a little more interesting. It's now 4 runs, 6 hits for GW, 9 runs, 9 hits for Virginia. And Hungate from the belt deals, swinging a spinner back towards the mound, fielded by Hungate. He will step and sling it over to first, and the inning is over. So Hungate gets Virginia out of this spot in the 5th, and at the end of 4.5 innings of play, we are now halfway home, and Virginia leads GW 9-4. The bottom of the 5th we go. The Who's looking for an answer when we come back.
UVA fans, if your Cavaliers hit a home run during the 5th inning, every fan in attendance will receive a free small coffee from Quick Coffee. Let's go, Who's! Thanks for sending us your smiling faces. Check out Who Vision to see your kids and photos. Who's Smiling is presented by United Concordia Dental.
See how Virginia answers as GW has climbed back into this thing. It's a 9-4 ball game headed to the bottom of the fifth. And for GW, left-hander Tandy Brennan remains on. Justin Rubin, the batter for Virginia, takes a called strike, and it's 0-1. Rubin, then the top of the order, O'Farrell and O'Donnell. And the pitch bounces in, 1 ball, 1 strike. There's been plenty of activity now in that Virginia bullpen, and obviously we've seen 4 different pitchers for the Hoos in this game just to get to this stage through 5 innings. 1-1. That's upstairs, 2-1. Left-hander to the high set, even with the bases empty, and his 2-1 pitch hits the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Justin Rubin. And Rubin, a ground ball right back to the mound, speared by Brennan. Trots over and underhands to first. And there's 1 away here in the home half of the fifth, so now the top of the lineup for Virginia. And again, Virginia came out of the gates on a rampage at the plate. 9 runs through the first 3 innings, and really 3 straight innings in which Virginia's offense looked in complete control, as was the case for Connolly early on the mound in starting this game. Pitch to O'Farrell. Just missed. 1 ball, no strikes. Pretty good looking pitch from the lefty Brennan there. But 1-0. And the next one skips in. 2 balls, no strikes. But moving into the middle innings, GW's offense suddenly comes to life. And really, it was one swing that changed the complexion with Anthony Frichette's bases clearing double. 2-0 pitch now to O'Farrell. That's up and away. So 3 balls, no strikes. There has been activity behind Brennan in the George Washington bullpen. Right-hander Ruddy back up and throwing for the 2nd time today. 3-0 pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. So O'Farrell works a 4-pitch walk. And that'll get Ethan O'Donnell to the plate. And GW's bullpen signaling to their dugout that Ruddy is ready if wanted. And see if Greg Ritchie gives Brennan, the left-hander, 1 more batter, and he will with the lefty O'Donnell at the plate. And a breaking ball strike. It's 0-1. But with Jake Geloff waiting on deck, this might be the last man for Brennan either way. Home half of the fifth, again 9-4 Hoos, leading George Washington. The 0-1 pitch. He shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a breaking ball off the plate away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Short lead at first from O'Farrell, but we've already seen him steal a base in this game. And a fastball just missed. Just missed. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Ethan O'Donnell. O'Donnell having himself one heck of a day already. He has single, double, and homer. And the 2-1 pitch from the left-hander. Swing and a ball fouled away. Now, as O'Donnell was the Big Ten doubles leader last season, 24 doubles. He did not have a triple, so as he's looking for a triple to complete the cycle, at least to whatever extent he actually is, that has not been a big part of his game, even as he has been a doubles machine. Quick check on O'Farrell at first, who got back easily. 2-2 pitch. Swinging the ball lifted out towards left center field, racing over his Gates, and he's not going to get there. It dunks in on a couple of hops. O'Donnell racing into second, and he's there, standing up with his second double of the ball game. Ethan O'Donnell is now 4 for 4, and Virginia has second and third with one out. Now Jay Geloff is the batter, and George Washington will intentionally walk Geloff without throwing a pitch, and obviously so as to keep Brennan in to face Kyle Teal, lefty against lefty here. Bases loaded, one out. And Teal looking to give Virginia the answer it needs. Pitch misses upstairs, 1-0. Recreate that separation. And Virginia went into the top half of this inning leading 9-0. It's now a 9-4 ball game. By the way, O'Donnell's double was Virginia's 10th hit of the game. Another double-digit hit performance. Breaking ball well wide, and it's 2-0. I'll tell you, Brennan has not exactly showcased pinpoint command. Left-hander has walked 3 over an inning and 2/3, and GW not giving him any room to work with by intentionally walking the bases loaded. 2-0 pitch, and a fastball missed high, 3-0. And again, you know, the obvious baseball decision and establishing the possibility of the ground ball double play and the force at any base, but again, with the way Brennan's command has been spotty today, and now a 3-0 pitch to Teal, and he watches ball 4. Didn't get anything to even really think about, and that will walk in the 10th run of the day for Virginia. O'Farrell crosses the plate, O'Donnell over to third base, Geloff up to second, and here is Casey Sauke for Virginia, but he will not be facing Teddy Brennan. So, by the way, Teal with his 17th RBI of the year. And GW is going to go back to the bullpen. Right-hander is coming on to replace the lefty Brennan. We'll tell you more about him when we come back. Virginia 10, George Washington 4, but the Hoos still have the bases loaded with just one out in the bottom of inning number 5. Right-hander Colin Ruddy makes his 6th appearance of the season for George Washington. He'll face Casey Sauke and does so with the bases loaded up with Hoos. 1 run already in this inning for Virginia. And the Cavaliers have the bases loaded with just one out. It's O'Donnell at third, Geloff at second, Teal at first. And for Virginia, again, Sauke, who's been on base a couple of times already today. He has singled and scored and also walked. And the pitch. Breaking ball from Ruddy misses down. 1 ball, no strikes. Ruddy, 5 appearances, no record, a 1.35 earned run average. 6 2/3 innings. He has struck out 3, has also walked 3, and has allowed 4 hits. Opponents hitting .200 against him. Now the 1-0 pitch. Down and away. And it's 2 balls, no strikes. Obviously no place to put him. So George Washington plays the matchup by going right on right. But so far, hitters count for Sauke, 2 balls, no strikes. And the pitch. Inside corner for a called strike, 2-1. Ruddy, a freshman from East Hampton, New York. Out of East Hampton High School, 6'4", 210-pound freshman. Wears number 11 for the Colonials. And from the belt, the 2-1. Swinging a ball drifted center field, starting in, now racing back. Gates has to turn, it's over his head again. GW center fielder retrieves it. 1 run is in as O'Donnell scores. Geloff right behind him, and this is going to clear the bases. Virginia with exactly the answer it needs. A bases clearing double from Casey Sauke to match what the Colonials did in the top half of the inning. 13-4 Hoos. Virginia with a 4 spot here in the 5th have reestablished that separation. It is once again a 9-run ball game. Now Ethan Anderson, runner at second with 1 out. And the pitch. That one bounces away from the catcher. He will pick it back up the third base line, but not quick enough to keep Sauke from advancing over to third base. For Sauke, that was double number 6 this season. RBIs 15, 16, and 17. The 1-0. And a called strike at the knees. 1-1 to Anderson. Runner at third, 1 out, the 1-1. Anderson off the end of the bat, fouls it back. And the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Virginia's first baseman, Ethan Anderson. RBI single back in the first. And the right-hander, Colin Ruddy, drops set at the belt. And his 1-2 pitch now. That one bounced in again. So the count even up at 2-2 on Ethan Anderson. Anderson, the 7th man to bat in the inning for Virginia. And a golden opportunity to make it a 10-run ball game now with a man at third and less than 2 outs. The pitch takes just beneath the knees, pretty close that time. Off-speed pitch from Ruddy. So count is full at 3-2. 13 runs, 11 hits now for Virginia. Payoff pitch. Anderson grounds it right side. That will get the man in from third. Fielded by Levine, who throws him out 4-3. But an RBI for Anderson, his 2nd of the ball game, and his 18th of the season. Virginia 14, George Washington 4. Now Henry Godbout for the Hoos. 2 outs, bases empty. And the pitch. Breaking ball a little bit high. 1 ball, no strikes. So Virginia has answered the 4 runs George Washington put up in the top of the inning with 5 of their own in the bottom half of this 5th inning. And again, Virginia has scored in 4 of its 5 offensive opportunities. The 1-0 pitch. And over but low. 2 balls, no strikes. Got about 2 for 2. A single, a double, and a walk. And the pitch. Inside. 3 balls, no strikes. And that will immediately get somebody else stretching down in that George Washington bullpen. Never-ending cycle of relievers really for both teams now, with both going into the bullpen nice and early in this game. 3-0 pitch. Right there for a strike, 3-1. And the pitch to Godbout. Swinging a ball, smacked to third, dropped by the third baseman Acker, picks it back up, throws to first in time for the out. It took his glove off, but he is able to stick with it and make the play. So Godbout, nothing to show for a very hard hit ball. 5-3, and the inning is over. Cavaliers send 8 more men to the plate in the 5th. At the end of 5 complete, it's Virginia 14, George Washington 4. Well, after getting the final out last inning, Chase Hungate returns to the mound for Virginia. They'll face the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the GW lineup. Logan Lex leads it off and takes a breaking ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Lex, then Cone and Nicholson for the George Washington Colonials out of the A-10. Virginia 14, GW 4. And a fastball in 2-0. From Hungate, the VCU transfer, who got Levine to bounce out to end the inning. And now starting a fresh inning in the 6th. 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for George Washington. As a fastball strike, 2-1. 14 runs, 11 hits, no errors for Virginia. Both teams have gone 4 deep on the mound. And Hungate deals. 2-1, swung on and missed, 2-2. After George Washington put up 4 runs in the top of the 5th, Virginia brought home 5 of their own in the bottom of the 5th. And again, lead it by 10 in the top of the 6th. 2-2 pitch from Hungate. Swinging a ball hit off the end of the bat, shallow left center, and that ball is going to drop in for a base hit. Well, Virginia did make at least 1 defensive substitution between innings. Luke Hansen has taken over at shortstop. I was wondering now, with that big gap built back up to 10 runs, would Virginia start to do so? And that's the only change I can spot so far. Called strike to Cone, 0-1. GW team picked to finish 10th out of the 12 teams in the A-10, according to the league's coaches. The folks at D1 Baseball think they will finish 8th out of the 12 teams in the league. The 0-1. Down and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Davidson, in both polls, picked as the favorite to win, and both the A-10 coaches and D1 Baseball think that VCU is the second best team in that league. The 1-1 pitch. Down and in, 2 balls, 1 strike. And VCU, the team not only Virginia will face twice this year, as always, but also school from which Hungate transferred to Virginia. Hungate spending last year with the Rams, Abingdon, Virginia native. And his pitch is fouled back. That'll even up the count at 2-2 on Michael Cone. Hungate, a regular for the Rams last year in 21 relief appearances, but he threw 63 innings, going 6-4 to lead the team in wins. And again, Hungate, I mean, he was very good against Virginia in the times that we saw them twice last year. Here's a backdoor breaking ball, and strike 3 called near the outside corner, close enough to get the call. And that's the first out here in the 6th. Now Tim Nicholson, the batter. But Hungate was a guy that VCU would use regularly out of the bullpen, but for 2 or 3 innings at a time. And a pitch swung on and missed here by Nicholson, 0-1. I mean, he played as important a role as anybody on that VCU club last year. And more limited time so far this season, but obviously it's early enough he could earn more important opportunities as he lines one down the right field line, but foul. And it's 0-2 on Nicholson. This is just the 3rd appearance of the year for Hungate, who is 1-0. Pitch down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at first base, 1 out. And he missed up and in. Back to the fastball that time. Count even up at 2-2. The sidewinding righty ready deals. 2-2 again, punched foul by Tim Nicholson. And we'll have another 2-2 pitch to follow. After last year at VCU, Hungate went out to the Appalachian League, pitching for the Bristol State Liners. 4 relief appearances there and 6 1/3 innings. But frankly, he didn't need a ton of additional experience considering he threw 63 innings as a true freshman. Pitch bounced foul into the Virginia dugout. We'll do it again, 2-2. As VCU won the A-10, and Hungate, an important piece of that championship club. Faced Virginia both in the matchups in Richmond at the Diamond and here. And another one down and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hungate from a baseball family. His dad, Eric, played first at Radford, then at ODU. And his older brother, Cade, was a really good pitcher both in his high school days and at the collegiate level. 3-2 off-speed pitch, swung on and missed. Nicholson is down on strikes, and it's back-to-back Ks for Chase Hungate. Cade was the 2018 Gatorade State Player of the Year. And then Started his collegiate career at Florida State before transferring to Liberty, where he finished his collegiate career with the Flames. Ty Acker now, left-handed hitter, and he takes it inside 1-0. And Hungate's older brother, Cade, actually faced Virginia both while a member of Florida State and while a member of Liberty. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Had him out in front. And the count even up with a ball and a strike. Top of the sixth. Virginia 14. George Washington 4. I would say the wind picked back up, but it never really went away. The 1-1. And strike 2 called. I don't know if consistently like this I've seen the flags moving as they have been all game long. Now the 1-2 pitch. And just missed outside. Well, clearly off the outside corner, but in this inning, Linus Baker, I mean, you can't fault him. It seems as though he has been willing to expand a little bit off that outside edge, but not there. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Had him out in front there, and Hungate comes back to strike out the side after allowing the leadoff single. He gets Cone, Nicholson, and Acker all on strikes. And at the end of 5.5 innings of play, still Virginia 14, George Washington 4.
Leading off for your Cavaliers, left fielder number 34, duel.
14-4 Hoos, and as we go to the bottom of the sixth, new pitcher for George Washington is junior right-hander Benny Wilson, 6'5", 215-pound righty from Hatboro, Pennsylvania, to face Didowick, Rubin, and O'Farrell. His first pitch down and in, 1 ball, no strikes to Harrison Didowick. Beg your pardon, not O'Farrell. Luke Hansen, who came on to play short last inning, will bat third in this inning. And the tall right-hander, Wilson, deals, and a swing and a miss. It's 1-2. We saw Wilson last year for a couple of scoreless innings out of the bullpen in the game on March the 8th. And Virginia won. Was a 10-2 win in last year's matchup. Virginia leads 14-4 in this year's installment. Fastball wide, 2-2. Klein, Haug, Brennan, Ruddy, and Wilson. 5 pitchers used by GW so far in this game. 2-2 pitch. Swing, and he lifts it left field, drifting back on it, Lex. And shy of the track, makes a waist-high catch for out number 1.
Back for your Cavaliers, second baseman number 1, Justin Rubin.
So now Justin Rubin, the batter for Virginia, with Hansen into the on-deck circle, and he is plunked by the pitch. So
Cavaliers, shortstop number 5, Hansen.
Luke Hansen will bat now for Virginia in the spot of O'Farrell. And he takes the pitch outside, 1-0. Well, with Ethan O'Donnell scheduled to bat next, it actually looks as though Colin Tuft has moved into the on-deck circle. And the 1-0 pitch, swing and a ball lifted down the right field line, but slicing foul. Hansen again, who got the start in the finale against North Carolina, continues to swing it well. 7 hits in 16 at-bats. Yes, it's somewhat limited opportunities, but hitting at .438, and again has pushed himself into the mix for a starting spot. The 1-1 just missed away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Righty against righty. And the 2-1 pitch. There's a called strike. 89-mile-an-hour fastball over the outside edge. And from the set, righty deals. It's lifted down the right field line, slicing towards foul territory, and will get out of play off into the seats. Now Wilson again, who was very good against Virginia last season as a sophomore, made just 2 appearances his freshman year. Much heavier workload last year, working in 19 games. Pitch down and away, and the count is full at 3-2. Right-hander starts high, then drops down just above the belt. Runner going from first, and it's lined to left field. A base hit. Around second, racing over to third, Rubin again, who was running on the pitch. So that makes it first and third with only 1 out in the inning. Now for Colin Tuft, who will bat for Ethan O'Donnell. So Virginia's starting to empty the bench now here in the 6th. With Rubin at third and Hansen at first. Pitch is swung on, foul tipped, and I think it got a piece of the mask of catcher Tim Nicholson. Well, one other defensive change turns out last inning. Not only did Hansen replace O'Farrell at short, but Travis Reefsnyder replaced Kyle Teal behind the plate. So now a trio of subs with Tuft pinch hitting here. Colin, 5 hits in 25 at-bats, hitting right at 200 for the season. And this the 10th game in which Tuft has seen action. Now the 0-1 pitch. Swing, and he popped it up, shallow right field. That might drop in, and it's going to for a base hit. Home from third is Rubin. Over to third base goes Hanson, and it's Virginia 15, George Washington 4 on the RBI single for Colin Tuft.
Cavaliers third baseman number 22, Jake Geloff.
Now Jake Geloff will bat for Virginia. He has been walked in each of his last couple of appearances at the plate, one of them intentional. Also has a double and an RBI ground out in this game. The pitch, front door breaking ball, called a strike. Generous inside edge from Linus Baker. They're at the corners with one out. And again, Geloff, who already has an RBI today, a chance for another. Three infielders to the left of second. Shift him to the pull side. Breaking ball again. This time in off the plate. 1-1 the count. Well, after the first 3 innings, Virginia had really done the damage. 9 runs home. But after George Washington made it interesting with 4 in the 5th, Virginia seemingly putting it out of reach with 5 in the bottom of the 5th. Pitch misses downstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike. Left-hander in Virginia's bullpen, by the way, is Bradley Hodges. 2-1, down and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, entering play today, Ethan O'Donnell led Virginia with 12 walks on the season. But Geloff, now on the verge of walking for the 3rd time, would move into a tie, and indeed he takes ball 4. So that is the 12th walk of the season, 3rd of the game for Jake Geloff. And loads the bases now for Travis Reef-Snyder. So Reef-Snyder, left-hand hitter, takes the pitch down, skipping into the catcher Nicholson, 1-0. He has 1 hit in 8 at-bats this season. And bats bases loaded with just the 1 out. Reef-Snyder does have a couple of RBIs. 15-4 Hoos in the 6th. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Looking to launch. Came up empty on a fastball. Chris Baker has moved into the on-deck circle for Virginia. One, swing and a miss. Again, tardy on a fastball. At 89 from the right-hander Benny Wilson. Who works from the stretch. Bases loaded around him with Hoos. And the 1-2 is strike 3 called. Fastball right there. Reef-Snyder is caught looking. So now Chris Baker will bat. Anthony Stefan moves into the on-deck circle. And Linus Baker making sure that he has the pinch hitter logged, and now points to the mound for Benny Wilson to resume working. Bases loaded now, 2 outs. And the pitch. Fouled away, left side and out of play. Virginia 15, George Washington 4. Another big offensive day for the Hoos. 15 runs, albeit on just 13 hits. The 0-1 now to the pinch hitter Baker is a called strike, 0-2. Again, Wilson was good against Virginia last year in a game that Virginia won 10-2. Wilson was one of the bright spots for George Washington. A couple of hitless and scoreless innings. Walked one, also struck out a batter. The pitch way outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There is more activity behind him in the bullpen. A lefty throwing with left hand hitting Anthony Stefan into the on-deck circle. Baker grounds it left side off the glove of the diving third baseman. Rolls all the way over to the second baseman, who retrieves, throws wildly to the plate. That is cut off by the catcher Nicholson coming out in front of the plate to stop it. 2 runs home as Hansen and Tuft both score on the play. The diving attempt by the third baseman Acker resulted in a massive rebound, so to speak, that the second baseman Levine got to. But a couple of runs score. It's 17-4 Who's now. And Stefan batting for Anderson now. Swing and a miss. Stefan for the season, 4 hits in 7 at-bats. Left-hand hitter against the righty Wilson in the 0-1. Swinging a ball lifted out towards left center field. Late break for the center fielder, didn't see it. Ball lands in front of the diving left fielder Lex. 1 run is home as Geloff will score. And over to third base goes Chris Baker as Anthony Stefan has himself an RBI double. – 18-4, Virginia now leads with second and third 2 outs for Henry Godbout, the 9th man to bat in this 6th inning. Cavaliers have put up another 4 runs now. And a swing and a miss by Godbout, and it's 0-1. Now the 0-1. Late decision to offer at it and fouls it straight back to the screen. No balls, 2 strikes. Baker the runner at third, Stefan at second, with 2 outs last of the 6th. On a chilly and windy Tuesday afternoon turned evening in Charlottesville, Benny Wilson deals and a swing and a miss. Got him on strikes. A little bit late on a fastball. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Wilson, but also a 4 spot for Virginia. 3rd time in this game Virginia has scored 4 or more runs, or 4th time, excuse me. Virginia has scored 4 or more runs. And as we head now to the top of the 7th inning in Charlottesville, it's Virginia 18, George Washington 4. On to the 7th inning. New pitcher for Virginia is the left-hander in Bradley Hodges, and tons of defensive changes to tell you about as well. Pitch a called strike, 0-1. Good to see Hodges get back out there. Again, have been really good for Virginia in the early part of the season. Carolina got to him a little bit this weekend, and he'll get a chance to bounce back today. Pitch misses downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike to Sam Gates. He faces the top of the order for George Washington in this top of the 7th inning. And the pitch fouled away, 1-2. Virginia 18, George Washington 4. And Hodges, 2 innings, gave up a couple of runs, both earned. He walked 2 in the game against North Carolina. The nightcap on Saturday, a 2-run homer by Mac Horvath, but he bounces back here. Nice way to start it. Breaking ball for a called strike 3 to Gates. And that now makes a streak of 4 consecutive strikeouts by Virginia pitching. Going back to Chase Hungate in the 6th. The pitch. Breaking ball bounced in. 1-0. So defensively for Virginia now, the only guy playing the same position in which he started is Justin Rubin at second. Everybody else is either a new face or a changed position. Swing and a miss by DiTomaso, and it's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. Godbout is now at third. Luke Hansen, the shortstop. Rubin at second. Anthony Stefan plays first. Travis Reefsnyder is the catcher. And battery made for Bradley Hodges, who just missed there. The outfield left to right now has Colin Tuft in left. Harrison Didowick moves from left to center field. And Chris Baker is in right field. The 2-2 pitch. Thought about it, but did not offer. And the count is full at 3-2. And he just missed low, ball 4. So a 1-out walk.
Back for George Washington, number 24, Eddie Micheletti.
Now Eddie Micheletti bats for GW. Top of the 7th, 18-4 Hoos. And a breaking ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Looks like there is some additional activity in the Virginia bullpen, getting loose. Now out beyond the right field wall. 1-0 pitch, a strike at the knees, and it's 1-1. And his left-hander, Matthew Buchanan. Haven't seen him in a little while. Runner at first base, 1 out, and the 1-1. Swinging a ball lined out towards left field. Tuft ranging over, makes a one-handed catch. And that is out number 2. Back to first goes DiTomaso. Anthony Frechette now is the batter. Well, Virginia has lost the DH by virtue of putting Godbout into the field defensively. Pitch is grounded towards third, but foul. So technically Hodges is in the lineup now for Virginia. Oh, 1 misses down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Although interestingly enough, between Hodges and also Buchanan, the guy warming in the bullpen now, a couple of guys that at least one of them listed on the roster as a two-way player, but another who had been a standout two-way player in high school. Pitch is grounded through the left side of the infield for a base hit. As Frechette is aboard. And now Noah Levine will bat for the Colonials. And Hodges from the belt. Runners at first and second now, 2 outs. And the pitch just off the outside corner, 1-0. Virginia leading 18-4 in the top of the 7th inning. And Hodges, the first year from Florida, from the belt, his 1-0 pitch, a fastball strike. Out of St. John's Country Day in Jacksonville. And again, gave up that 2-run homer against North Carolina, but really has been excellent out of the pen most of the year. Pitch fouled back, and it's 1-2. Bounces right back into the home plate circle and almost hit GW's Noah Levine. This is the 5th appearance overall for Hodges. No record, a 4.32 earned run average. Is 1-2. Swinging a grounder, weakly hit left side. Godbout has it roll up the heel of his glove and out into shallow center field. DiTomaso is going to come in to score. And that makes it an 18-5 ball game. Up to second goes Frechette. And Levine reaches on the E6. Virginia defensively has been so solid this year. And, you know, actually it's been a couple of times where the only errors Virginia has committed in games have been when they have put the reserves in late in lopsided wins. Just the 8th error committed all season by Virginia defensively. Now Logan Lex takes the pitch as it bounces in. So an unearned run there. By the way, Chase Hungate goes an inning and a third and throws 25 pitches today. 1 hit, no runs. Fastball fouled back by Lex. And now Hodges is pitcher number 5 on the day for Virginia. One. Swing and a ball lifted foul right side. And the count 1-2.
That foul was sponsored by Taylor's Auto Body.
One-two pitch. And leaving the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a wave and a miss. Good breaking ball from Hodges. Picked up by Reef Snyder, who flips on down to first. And that will retire the side. So Hodges gets Lex to get us to stretch time. And now at the end of 6.5 innings of play, our score: Virginia 18, George Washington 5.
All right, fans, get up on your feet. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. The 7th inning stretch is presented by the Joint Chiropractic. New pitcher named for George Washington, number 22, Reese Burkhead.
Freshman left-hander Reese Crochet takes over for George Washington as we go to the last of the 7th, all stretched out from Davenport Field at Disharoon Park. It's the Who's 18, George Washington 5. Virginia very much in control as they have been on a number of occasions this season, particularly in this ballpark. Pitch down and away, 2 balls, no strikes to Didowick. It is Didowick, then Rubin, and then the top of the order in Hansen. Other one high, 3 balls, no strikes. Well, Crochet this season an ERA of 22.5. And he walks Didowick on 4 pitches. And GW, again, they return a lot offensively from last year's club. And although it wasn't a particularly successful 2022, going 22-30, offensively, feels like they might be able to do some things this year, hitting .282 entering play today. Rubin skies one to right center field, ranging over the right fielder. Micheletti will make the catch, and there's one away. Now Hansen will bat. But on the mound is where not only did GW struggle last year, but rearing its head again is the issue this season. Collectively an ERA of 8.67 entering play today. Pitch outside to Hansen, 1-0. And again, of the 18 runs they've allowed, 15 have been earned. Hansen takes outside, 2 balls, no strikes. And the pitch off the plate away. So 7 pitches out of the strike zone to just 1 in the strike zone from Crochet since coming into the game out of the pen for George Washington. There's a called strike, 3-1. And had not really been the biggest issue. Couple of innings, 3 strikeouts, just 1 walk, but he throws ball 4 there, and that is 2 walks in the inning. Now Colin Tuff, the batter. And Tuff lines one out towards right field, pretty well tagged. That's down for a base hit. The right fielder Micheletti gets it back in around third, heading home, and coming in to score is Didowick to make it 19-5 Who's. Over to third base goes Hansen on the RBI single for Colin Tuft. Well, here is the pitcher's spot. And Hodges will indeed bat for himself. So Hodges gets his first at bat of the season, takes a breaking ball strike. So I'm taking batting practice earlier today, and well, I was curious about it, but again, two-way player in high school and takes it inside, almost hit him. 1 ball, 1 strike. And he bats runners at the corners with 1 out. And the pitch down and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Crochet really struggling to find the strike zone. There is a right-hander throwing in the George Washington pin, but doing so with his sweatshirt on. 2-1 pitch down and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. As we drop to 38 degrees, so can't really fault the righty in the pen for doing so with his sweatshirt on. 3-1 pitch. Grounded but foul outside of first. And the count full, 3-2 on Hodges. Interesting to have seen GW stick with their starting 9 defensively, even in the lopsided game. Hodges hit by the pitch. So that loads the bases with 1 out. And with Reef Snyder scheduled to bat, looks like George Washington might go back to the pen. No signal yet. Although this might also be the pitching coach. I believe that's Greg Ritchie, though. Well, Virginia 19, George Washington 5. Elsewhere in the ACC, again, surprise from Raleigh, a 14-6 Elon win over the 23rd-ranked Wolfpack that Virginia will face this weekend. Notre Dame holds off St. Joe's 6-3. They're in the 9th inning in Clemson. The Tigers stormed back into that one. College of Charleston led for much of the game, but it is Clemson 4, College of Charleston 3 in the 9th. Second inning in Charlotte, it's North Carolina 7, Charlotte 2. Carolina now the number 18 team in the country. Now Travis Reef Snyder fouls the first pitch back, and it's 0-1. Bases loaded with 1 out. The 0-1 pitch to Reef Snyder. Breaking ball that bounces in. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So George Washington sticking with the left-hander Crochet as he grinds his way through. Again, far more pitches out of the strike zone than in it so far. Reef Snyder bounces one over towards second. Picked up by Levine, who throws to first. That'll get the run home from third, and Virginia has hit 20 runs once again. It is a 20-5 Virginia lead. As this the 3rd time this season Virginia has reached that plateau. Chris Baker, the batter. Second and third now, 2 outs. And he swings and skies one out towards shallow left field. Will it be playable for Lex? It's the shortstop, DiTomaso, racing out, making the catch, tumbling over, and then showing off that he still has the baseball. And that will retire the side. Virginia gets a couple more across here in the 7th. We will go to the 8th. It's Virginia 20, George Washington 5.
Score Valley, Virginia 20, George Washington 5. Virginia baseball is proud to present the ACC Cap Pass. The ACC Cap Pass guarantees access to all 15 ACC home games for just $49. Fans will be able to use Cap Pass tickets for general admission seating with the opportunity to select right field, baseline, or infield seats
Well, Matthew Buchanan, who was one of Virginia's regular arms last season and also a featured midweek starter for much of the year, will come on out of the bullpen for just the second time this season. He worked an inning against Longwood back on February 21st, and now takes over as we go to the 8th. And Michael Cohn fouls away the first pitch. Buchanan deals, and it's 0-1. Buchanan, a couple of runs on a couple of hits in that outing against the Lancers. And now faces Cohn, Nicholson, and Acker for GW. The 0-1 pitch. Swinging a ball line down the right field line. That's a fair ball and rolls towards the corner. Baker digs it out. Cohn sheds the helmet and is in standing up at second base with a leadoff double.
Batting for George Washington, number 28, to Nicholson.
Well, there is activity behind Buchanan as the inning gets underway. Now Nicholson, runner at second with nobody out. 20-5, Virginia in front. And Buchanan, second year from Lebanon, Virginia, deals. It's grounded out towards short, fielded by Hanson. Throws to first, and there's one away. 6-3 on the putout as Nicholson is retired. Over to third base goes Cohn. Now Ty Acker. Well, Buchanan, who made 17 appearances, 4 starts last year for Virginia, going 3-1 with an ERA just under 3.5. 28 in the third innings. He struck out 36 and walked only 7. There's a breaking ball for a strike. 0-1 to Acker, the 9-spot hitter for George Washington. Left-hander comes set with the runner Cohn behind him. The 0-1. Check swing. And yes, he did, says the third base umpire. To be honest with you, it looked like a called strike, but Buchanan gets it the hard way. And it's 0-2. Now the pitch is strike 3 called. Acker is caught looking. Buchanan has his first strikeout of the ball game. And there are 2 down. Top of the order now for GW, and it looks like pinch hitter for the Colonials. Alexander Wright batting. And it takes a called strike, 0-1. Well, Wright has seen some playing time this season, a decent amount of it. 6 hits in 18 at-bats. A guy that started 3 games for George Washington. The 0-1. And a breaking ball high. 1 ball, 1 strike. And presumably Wright staying in to play center field for GW. Runner at third base, 2 outs. And the 1-1 pitch now from left-hander Matthew Buchanan is strike 2 called at the knees. Wright, a freshman listed as a utility player out of Indianapolis. And former Cathedral High School Fighting Irish. Alexander Wright. 1-2 pitch now from Buchanan. Lefty deals and just missed. 2-2. Looked like maybe ran just off the outside corner. And the pitch from Buchanan. Swing, and he pops it up. Left center field. Didowick going back on it. Now squares the shoulders, makes the catch, and the inning is over. So good job by Buchanan working around the leadoff double. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Our score, Virginia 20, George Washington 5. Anthony Stefan, Henry Godbout, and Harrison Didowick, the scheduled hitters for Virginia, against the new pitcher, Braden Kurtz, for George Washington. Kurtz, who, like his predecessor, Benny Wilson, worked a couple of innings against Virginia last year as Stefan fouls the first pitch away. 0-1. Sophomore righty from Fort Mill, South Carolina, Braden Kurtz. One of his 6 relief appearances last year was on March the 8th here in Charlottesville. 2 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. Stefan bounces it right side for Levine. Fires over to first, and there's 1 away. Here in the 8th, it's Virginia 20, George Washington 5. Cavaliers have reached the 20-run plateau, as I mentioned, for the 3rd time this season. And that ties into a 4-way tie for the most 20-run games in a season. And there's the pitch to the backstop, 1-0. And we're here on March 14th, so obviously plenty of opportunities to break the record. But 3 20-run games, the most in a season. The other 3 times Virginia did it, 1889, 1898, and 1905. Godbout swings and fouls it away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Against the right-hander Braden Kurtz. Kurtz making his 3rd appearance of the season. An inning and 2/3, he has allowed 8 earned runs coming into this outing. 1-1, popped foul right side and out of play. Activity in the Virginia bullpen. Well, there's 2 right-handers, Jake Huderovich and also Kevin Jaxel. 1-2 pitch, fouled back. We'll do it again. A ball and 2 strikes. So maybe they will break up the ninth between a couple of guys, but Virginia has already used 6 different pitchers in this game. And Kurtz, pitcher number 7 for George Washington. Line drive over to third base is snagged by Acker. And Godbout is retired. That is the 2nd time he has hit a screamer of a ball at George Washington's third baseman, and it is gone for an out. Now Harrison Didowick. Didowick has walked twice and scored a couple of runs, but looking for his first hit today. He bats 2 outs, bases empty in the 8th. And the 1-0 pitch. Up and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Again, Virginia will get back to action Thursday night. Note the slightly unusual weekend schedule as Didowick lines one to center field. That is indeed going to get in there for a base hit. So Didowick gets that first hit of the evening. And he has Virginia's 17th hit of the ball game. Now Justin Rubin, the batter for Virginia. It's the right-hander Braden Kurtz out of Fort Mill High School, the Yellow Jackets. And grounds it right at the shortstop, juggled by the shortstop, but recovers to flip to second in time for the out. And that will retire the side. Fielder's choice that goes 6-4. And so we go to the ninth. Virginia 3 outs away from locking down the midweek victory against George Washington. And it looks like Kevin Jax will take it over. When we come back, it is 20-5 Virginia after 8 complete in Charlottesville.
The 2023 UVA baseball season is presented by Battlefield Automotive. Don't drop the ball and overpay. Visit Battlefield Automotive today. New pitcher of the eighth for your Cavaliers, number 30, Kevin Jackson.
Kevin Jacksel takes over for Virginia as we go to the ninth. Virginia in control, 20-5. The Who's lead George Washington, seemingly on the way to their 14th straight win against the Colonials. Virginia, who started off the season on a 14-game winning streak, looking for win number 15 on the year as Steve DiTomaso lifts one out towards center field. Didewick cruising in, makes a one-handed catch, and on one pitch, there is one out. Eddie Micheletti, the batter now for George Washington. As Jacksel hasn't actually pitched since last Tuesday against William & Mary when he worked a scoreless inning, but he was up, I think, in all 3 games of the series against North Carolina in the bullpen, and in one of the 3, felt like he threw a complete game worth of warm-up pitches in the pen, deals a called strike, and it's 0-1 to Micheletti. Now Jacksel back into the windup, the 0-1. Swinging a ground ball right side for Rubin. Big easy hop for him, flips on to Stefan. 2 up, 2 down to start the ninth, and Virginia is now 1 out away.
Pitch hitting for George Washington, number 5, Peyton Bloom.
And a pinch hitter for George Washington here in the ninth. Peyton Bloom will bat and takes a called strike, 0-1. Virginia, who has won all 10 of its games against non-conference foes at the Sharoon Park this season. As Jacksel now has Virginia 1 strike away from making that all 11 games this season. And his 0-2 pitch, up and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. As the sun's setting over Charlottesville, and Virginia looks to be cruising to win number 15. Jacksel looking to finish the job for the Who's. Righty deals, swing and a tapper foul. And we'll do it again, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Virginia 20 runs on 17 hits to George Washington's 5 runs on 9 hits. And Jacksel back to work, the 1-2. Breaking ball, strike 3 called, and that'll do it. The Who's victorious today by a 20-5 count over the visitors from George Washington. And the Who's have now won 14 straight against the Colonials. Off to a 15-1 start in this pit stop back in Charlottesville between ACC Road Series. Virginia takes care of business this afternoon. Our final score, once again, Virginia 20, George Washington 5, as Jacksel finishes the job with a quick 1-2-3 ninth inning of work. And Virginia, who uses 7 different pitchers in this game, we'll wait to see who is designated as the winner. An 8-pitch ninth inning for Jacksel, and a job well done, striking out one of the 3 batters that he faced. But for the final counts in this one, George Washington, 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error, 8 runners left on base, of which 4 were left in scoring position. For Virginia, it was 20 runs on 17 hits, 1 error, 10 runners left on base, of which 8 were left in scoring position. Again, Virginia, with the win, improves to 15-1 and 11-0 at home. And with the loss, George Washington 4-13. They are now 1-8 on the road. GW right back in action tomorrow, hosting Maine, while Virginia travel day tomorrow to get down to Raleigh, back to the Research Triangle for another ACC Road Series. 23rd ranked NC State, who have lost 3 of their last 4 games, will be the opponent. Thursday at 7, Friday at 6, and Saturday at 2. And we will have all 3 of those games for you, and hope that you will join me for each and every one. The Cavaliers victorious. That'll do it for our broadcast here tonight. For everybody who helped make it possible, I'm Channing Poole saying I hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and I know you enjoyed the result. One final time, our final score from Davenport Field at Sharoon Park. It was Virginia 20, George Washington 5. Until Thursday night, 7 o'clock start for Virginia and NC State. Thanks for listening, everybody.